Hi, I'm Mary Director and I'm a Fun Stamper's Journey Coach. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about our brand new product called the Gel Press. First, let me give you a little information about myself. I'm Mary Director and my blog is KreatesKardsJourney.blogspot.com. My business website is funstampersjourney.com/Mary Director, and I'm also on Facebook. Facebook.com/KreatesKardsJourney. And I'll bring this back at the end of the video. I'm going to show you a couple projects that I've created. They're in plastic casing. I've submitted them as part of a contest, so I don't want them to be handled. But this is one of the cards I've created using the gel press as the background. And what I've done is inked the gel press and then actually stamped an image into that ink and then pulled it off with our cardstock. Trimmed it down to the A2 size that I needed for my card, and then embellished with our mirror, a brand new mirror cardstock, fussy cut images out of our Mystic Romance printed paper, and then added a sentiment. So this is the first card, and so you can see that. And again, what I'm going to show you how to do today is this background. The second part of my project for the entry is this butterfly. Again, I did the same type of gel print on the back, where I used Fresh Forest to create the background and then stamped in the leaves from our embroidered rose stamp set. The butterflies and the little flowers here are again from the Mystic Romance printed paper, and I've also embellished it with little flowers from the mirrored gold mirrored cardstock that we now sell. We have both gold and silver. And again, I apologize for the plastic sheeting, but I don't want to take a chance with getting fingerprints or anything on my projects. This third one was done with Candy Apple Red, and I used the rose to create the background. So again, it was done with the gel press. Let me bring it up just a little bit more so you can see the rose more distinctly. I used the gel press to create the background. This is a 6x8 scrapbook page. I took photos that we had taken at the Desert Botanical Gardens here in Phoenix at their butterfly exhibit that's done once a year. Then I embellished with our gold mirrored paper. The roses that you see, the little butterflies that are up and above, they're popping out from the design, are actually part of the Mystic Romance cardstock that I fussy cut out and then used Journey foam squares to have them pop up. So again, this is in a Journey scrapbook page that holds 6x8. So this is a 6x8 scrapbook page. My butterflies again. And then the final one is the rose. Okay, so let's get started. Let me set these aside and I'll be right back. Sorry for the delay there. Just didn't want to take a chance. Let me take a little bit of a break here. It'll just be a second or two. I'm going to go get the stamp set that I want to use so that I can show you how to do the this technique. And then what I'll do is I'll clip the segments together so that you'll see this in different segments but as one video. So thank you, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now I want to show you our two different gel press products that we have. This one is a Gel Impressions, and it's called Fluttering Hearts. It is used to create impressions on the gel press itself, or you can use it alone just totally up to you. Now, I'm not going to use this one today. I just want to show it to you. There's a little bit of an odor to these. It's from the mineral oil that's on them. The gel press is very, the impression pad as well as the gel press are very flexible. They come with two protective sheets in it, one on the top and the bottom. You can use either side. You can ink on these, you can stamp impressions on these, you can use this as a stamp itself. Be sure that you keep the acrylic cover, it's very important, it'll help protect this, and also keep the plastic container it came in for storage, and then you can seal it right up. You don't actually have to clean the pads off. I do prefer to clean them, but you'll notice in mine that it is a little discolored from the inks. That's fine. And you work directly on the gel press as you're doing this. So let me open this up. I went ahead and I took the paper that came with it and I put it in a document protector. Easy to clean up with soap and water, then rinse dry and rinse and then pat dry with a paper towel. Do not, absolutely positively do not use our stamp cleaner on your gel plates or impression pads. You will damage them. Do not use anything that's sharp on these. So like if you decide to use one of our dies to leave a design, make sure it's cutting side up. You are welcome to use baby wipes, and during this display demonstration I will use baby wipes to clean them. And again, as you can tell, mine's discolored, and that's because I used a lot of candy apple red on it yesterday. Don't worry about it. If you're going to use it for inks and for our acrylic paints, one side for ink, one side for acrylic paints. And let's see. Our paints and our liquid colors can permanently stain this. Please realize though that the stains won't affect your printing performance. Be sure you keep this on a flat, non-porous surface. Keep it in its original packaging or on a smooth piece of glass. I think the packaging is going to be great, so that's what I'm going to use. And then do not set anything on top of the gel surface like plastic wrap, wax paper, etc. These will wrinkle and they can leave a permanent imprint on your gel plate. So we want to be careful and keep away from open flames, other heat sources, keep away from pets. If you have a pet that sheds, you can end up with the hair on here. It's very sticky. And it's for art and craft use only, not a toy. And so anyway, I just went ahead and I put mine in a document protector. I trimmed down the edge of the document protector so it would fit right inside. It again comes with two plastic covers, and what I decided I would do is I marked this one ink, so I know that this side is ink, and then the other side that's not marked when I go to use paint. I haven't used the acrylic paint yet. I do have it. Let me see if I can get the glare out of there. There we go. So I'm just going to pull this off, and it sticks, but it's not that it's sticky, it just forms a suction. And we'll set that aside. I'm going to use our fresh forest ink. I'm going to use our embroidered rose stamp set. It does have a matching die set that's called embroidered rose die set. They can be purchased purchased as a bundle at a 10% discount. We have an exclusive size in our die set. It's 8.5 by 11. We're the only company in the industry that has this, and this would be the exact same size as a piece of cardstock, so it's absolutely perfect. You can use one segment or you can use the whole piece. For this one, I'll do the whole piece so you can see. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to stamp all over. This one I'm just going to use one color. You can use numerous colors if you'd like. If you use acrylic paint, the acrylic paint, you do more bouncing of your brayer than you do with this one. This one we're going to do rolling. If I was going to do numerous colors in this, I would use the lightest color first and then build up. The brayer is always stored on its back. There's a handle here with little finger pieces. Store it this way. If you store this flat on your table, you can end up with a flat mark on your brayer, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to roll this. I'm going to smooth it out. You want to look for any brayer lines. We want to avoid that if at all possible, because those lines will come through. If it's not exactly the color or is the intensity that I want, I can always go back in and add more. I'm not going to clean off my brayer until I'm done with the green. Now I keep a like printer paper on the side to use if I was going to clean this off. I don't want to clean this off on my my good card stock. So I always keep that handy. I keep paper towels handy. I also keep the baby wipes handy because we do get inky fingers. Not really bad. This is pretty clean and easy to use. Okay, so now we need to decide what leaves we want to use. I think I'm going to use this one because it's a little bit bigger pattern. I'm going to take my size E. Remember when we put these on that we put it on the opposite side that the letter is so that we don't get ink on our grids. And I'm just going to press that down. Now I'm going to have a good piece of cardstock here. Now this you may not see because of the way it's set up, but I'm going to actually stamp off onto this other piece of cardstock. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to press in and move a little bit, lift up, and stamp off on my other piece. And I'm just going to do random. Again, you want to wiggle this a little bit. Put a little bit of pressure. It'll help bring through the design, and stamp off. And again, I'm going to make this totally random. And depending on the amount of pressure I've put on, will determine, sorry about my arm showing through there, will determine the design that we're going to end up with. Now when I get done with this, I now have enough for four card fronts with the gel press. I'm also going to have enough for 4 card fronts, as background sheets with the stamped off paper also. So I have enough here for 8 cards when I get done. So it's a real time saver too, as well as letting you be extremely creative. And again, there's not a right or a wrong way to do this. And I'm just going to work with the leaves on this one. And I just want to make sure that I got, okay, so I have my whole area covered there. This I'll clean off with our stamp cleaner, but again, when I do that, I want to keep it the spray of our stamp cleaner away from the gel press. So I'll just set that aside. I'm going to take a piece of cardstock, and please don't feel that you only can use white. Be creative. Try other colors. I used bubble gum and used our candy apple red, and got the most beautiful pink tone. And as you can see, I tilted my brayer here. You maybe not. I just colored my table, but that's okay. This is just one of the plastic folding tables, and I was able to clean it up with the baby wipes, so it's no big deal. Don't put the gel press directly on a piece of wood. It can damage the finish. Okay, so now I've got it on the gel press. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to smooth with my hands. You may get a little bit of ink on your hand as you do this. As you can see, I didn't get this right to the edge. But we want to pick up all the design there. So we want to put quite a bit of, pressure. You don't have to push, but we want to make sure that we get every corner. And again, if you get some residue from the ink, don't worry. It's where your fingers have picked it up. This is the back. Now I'm going to pick it up. Oh my gosh. Wait till you see this. Look at this gorgeous background. And then what I can do is I could stamp another color on top of this. I'm going to use this as a card, a background in a card. If I, like this, where it didn't pick it all up, I can come back in and I can do that. It picks up a little. If you want to do that, you fine. Otherwise, normally you're going to end up trimming off part of this anyway. So here's the one from the gel press. Here's the one from my stamped off image. I now have enough to do 8 full cards if I wanted, or 2 scrapbook pages. Now, let's say I'm completely done and I don't want to leave ink on this. You don't have to clean it any further, but if you want to, you can do it a couple ways. One is to leave as is, put your acrylic protectors back on. The other, now this is just printer paper. And I'm going to take the printer paper, I'm going to do this, and this is what they call a ghost print. And you're just picking up the residue that's left. Now the ghost prints, you can use this too. I feel this paper is a little too lightweight. I don't know if you can see this. I can actually see the leaves on it. The camera may not be picking it up. And then I'm just going to come back here again, because this is paper I'm probably not going to use again. So I just want to pick up any excess ink. But again, you do not need to do this step. If you want to leave your gel press with the ink on it and just see what comes the next time, that's fine. I just like doing that on scrap paper. The other thing you could do is, if you wanted to make sure that this was completely clean, is go ahead and take your baby wipe and wipe this off. And again, I've left the bottom protective piece on here so that I know this is my ink side. I'm done with that. I'm just going to take a paper towel and I'm going to do this. And this is because I'm cleaning it. Again, if you're going to leave your ink on here, you don't need to worry about that at all. Okay, as you can see, really clean. It's discolored because I used red yesterday. Now I'm going to bring back my protective sheet. I'm going to line it up. Wait a sec. It forms a section right away. Okay, there we go. And if it's got a big air bubble in it, I would just take it out and just put it back down. It just takes a second. It's no big thing. And you don't have to have all the air bubbles out either. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to bring back my holder. Put it in the holder. Put my directions back in and close this up. I mean, quick, easy, I don't even have an apron on. I did get ink on my table. That was my own fault. And then with your brayer, I would just take your excess, your scratch paper, and just do this to clean the brayer off. Now, the brayer, you can also use cardstock. If you like this look, you absolutely could use the cardstock. I also find that the ink stays a little bit on the edge, so I kind of tilt this and do like that. Then, if I want to make extra sure that this is clean, the brayer I would clean off. That's just, you don't want to take a chance. This brayer is going to set out. You don't want to lean up against it and find out you have green ink on your favorite blouse, or you've leaned up against it and or set a project next to it. So just clean it with the baby wipe. It's it's a rubber surface. Just clean it off. Then take your paper towel and just roll. And that way you're going to get moisture off. So roll back, lift up, roll back, lift up. And then this is completely dry. Again, store this, roller up. And one more view of our gel press print. Look how beautiful. Wherever we stamped, the image came through and picked up the cardstock underneath. So don't hesitate to use another color underneath. You do not feel you have to use white. And so that's it. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. And if you'd like to purchase any of the Fun Stamper Journey products, they're now available on my business page, funstampersjourney.com/MaryDirector. Thank you.